I need to tell you about the worst business advice I've ever received. I was 24 years old, sitting across from a woman I deeply respected, a mentor, someone who had built businesses I admired and had a robust spiritual life. And I asked her the question every new entrepreneur asks: how do I know what to charge? She looked at me and said, pray about it. God will tell you. And hermana, I believed her. So I prayed and I waited and I felt nothing. No divine number appeared in my journal. No voice from heaven whispered a price point. So I did what most of us do when we don't have a system. I guessed. I picked a number that felt safe, low enough that no one would say no, high enough that I wasn't completely given away for free. And for the next 3 years, I undercharged for everything I did. Not because I didn't believe in my work, not because I lacked confidence, but because nobody ever told me that pricing is a skill, a system, a strategy. I thought it was supposed to be intuitive, spiritual even. Like if I was humble enough, the right price would just come to me. Here's what I know now. Pricing is not a feeling. It's a framework. And the guilt you feel every time you send an invoice, that's not conviction. That's a symptom of not having the right system. Today, I'm going to show you why everything you learned about money growing up is sabotaging your business. And I'm going to give you a framework that will change how you price everything from this day forward. Stay with me. Welcome to Freedom to Follow. I'm Salime, your behind-the-scenes mentor from digital businesses that fund your obedience to Christ. If this is your first time here, I help faith-driven Latinas build digital businesses that create income without sacrificing family or burning you out. I've been doing this for over 20 years across 3 continents. Stick around and you'll see why. Everything we talk about comes with practical exercises waiting for you at www.latinpreneurs.com/the vault. If you're one of my regulars, welcome back. You already know what we do, so let's get into it. Let me ask you something, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. When you think about charging for money for your gift, your skill, your service, what's the first emotion that shows up? For most hermanas I work with, it's not really excitement. It's not confidence. It's this low-grade anxiety, this tightness in your chest, this voice that whispers, "Who do you think you are?" And here's what nobody talks about. That voice is not yours. That voice belongs to your abuela, your tia, your mama, the women who raised you with phrases that were meant to protect you, but are now keeping you guessing. Let me paint you a picture. You're 8 years old, you're at the kitchen table, and your abuela is there. She's watching you count the coins in your piggy bank. And she says something like, "El dinero es sucio, mija. Don't love money too much." Or maybe it was, "Las mujeres buenas no piden dinero. That's not ladylike." Or the classic, "If God gave you a gift, you shouldn't charge for it. That's selfish." Now, your abuela was not trying to hurt you. She was trying to protect you. In her world, women who asked for money were seen as aggressive, unfeminine, greedy. So she was teaching you how to survive in a system that didn't reward women for being bold about their worth. But here's the problem. You're not living in their world anymore. You're living in a digital economy where your expertise can reach thousands, where a single course can serve people while you sleep, where one offer priced correctly can fund your entire year of mission work. And you're trying to navigate that economy with a money script that was written in 1962. Let me tell you the specific phrases that show up in almost every Latinpreneur I coach. If it's calling, it should be free. Now, let me challenge this one carefully because I don't want you to hear something that I'm not saying. Giving things away for free is beautiful. I built Reformadas, a platform that has reached over 1 million Latinas, by giving everything away. Now, that was a choice, a strategic choice, a generous choice I got to make. But here's what I need you to understand. I got to choose generosity. It was not forced into me because I believed charging was sinful. Think about every service you pay for without any guilt. You go to the doctor, she charges, fair exchange. You hire an architect, he charges, fair exchange. You get your hair done, she charges, fair exchange. You drop off your laundry, they charge, fair exchange. Nobody walks into a salon and says, But you have a gift for hair. How dare you charge me? Nobody tells their accountant, helping people with taxes is your calling. This should be free. Services cost money. Skills have value. Fair exchange is how the world works. So why do we think that when our gift is involved, suddenly the rules change? Suddenly we're supposed to work for free or we're being unspiritual. The lie isn't that free is bad. Free can be powerful. Free can be strategic. Free can be generous. The lie is that free is required, that charging you makes you less holy, that a fair exchange for your expertise is somehow greedy. It is not. It's just normal. It's how every other professional on the planet operates. You get to give away things for free when you choose to. And I've talked about this in episode 12 of generosity, which can also be a strategy. So you can choose when and how to give things away for free. But you also get to charge without guilt, without apology for real value that you are providing. Now, a second thing that I usually hear, good women do not talk about money. This one makes me want to laugh and cry. We're told good women don't talk about money. It's not ladylike. It's not appropriate. Keep that to yourself. And yet, look at what we actually talk about every single day. We talked to our mothers about how expensive groceries have gotten. We vent to our hermanas about rent going up again. We text our cousins about how gas prices are killing us. We sit at the kitchen table doing mental math, wondering how we're going to stretch this paycheck to cover everything. We talk about money constantly. We're drowning in thoughts about money, but only in one direction: how we do not have enough of it. The moment that conversation shifts to making more money, to charging what we're worth, to negotiating a raise or setting a price that actually sustains us, suddenly we go quiet. Suddenly it's aggressive. Suddenly it's pushy. Suddenly it's not what good Christian women do. It's worse in Christianity. We think that money is bad and money is just a tool. It's the heart that is bad. So let me get this straight of what we're really doing. We're complaining about not having money, and that's acceptable, but strategizing about how to make more, oh, that's inappropriate. We're venting about rising prices, totally normal. But raising your own prices, oh no, that's aggressive. You're worrying about bills with your family, expected. But income that eliminates that worry, pushy. Hermana, do you see that trap? We're allowed to struggle with money, we're just not allowed to solve it. We can be victims of the economy, we just cannot be victors of it. And this is not wisdom, this is not humility. That's a script that keeps us stuck. The truth is, talking about how to build money, earn money, charge money, it's not unladylike, it's strategic, it's responsible. That's how you stop having the same stress conversation with your madre for the next 20 years. Another common thing that I hear is money changes people. No, money reveals people. If you're generous when you're broke, you'll be generous when you're wealthy. If you're stingy now, more money just gives you more to hoard. Money is literally neutral. It is a tool. What changes people is what they believe about money. And I've talked about this over and over and over again because particularly in Christian circles, this is something that we do not understand. Another one. There's only so much to go around. The scarcity lie. The idea that if you charge more, you're taking from someone else. But here's the truth. When you undercharge, you're not serving people. You burn out faster. You resent your work. You quit. Underpricing is not generous. It is unsustainable. Now here's what I want you to understand. These beliefs did not come from nowhere. They were survival strategies for women who had no access to capital, no legal rights, no path to financial independence except through a husband or a father. Your abuela's money beliefs kept her safe in a world that was not safe for her. But that's not your world anymore. And the question is, are you going to keep operating from her script or are you going to write your own? Now remember, at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you the exercise called the Pricing Leak Finder. It is designed to surface the exact money beliefs that you are running in the background of your brain, sabotaging every invoice you send. And it will be available at www.latinpreneurs.com/the vault. I'll link it in the show notes, but before we get there, I need to teach you why these beliefs don't just hurt your income. They hurt people that you're meant to serve. Here's something that might make you uncomfortable. Undercharging is not humility. Undercharging is poor stewardship. I know, this sounds super harsh, but stay with me. When you undercharge, you think you are being generous, accessible, humble. You think you're serving more people by keeping your prices low. But here's what actually happens. Number one, you attract the wrong clients. Here's something that sounds counterintuitive, but it's backed by research. Consumers are often naturally skeptic of prices below the market average, believing that a deal that looks too good to be true usually is not. Now, a study published in the Journal of Marketing Research confirmed what experienced entrepreneurs already know. If a product or service is priced too low, it's often perceived as being of low quality. And let me tell you, I lived this with Reformadas. When I launched the platform and told people we were giving away everything for free, high quality theological content in Spanish, professionally produced books, resources that other publishing houses charge $14 per book for, people didn't celebrate. They were actually really suspicious. What's the catch? Why would you do that? If it's free, it cannot be that good. People told me not to do it. They said that I was devaluing the content. They said that no one would take it seriously. So I had to climb a mountain just to prove the quality was real. I had to explain the process. I had to introduce my team. I had to show people that these were not amateur books made in somebody's garage. I had to demonstrate over and over again that free does not mean inferior. And even now, years later, with over 1 million, almost 2 million downloads, people are still shocked when they realize what we're giving away. They compare us to other publishing companies charging $14 per book, and they can't understand how we deliver the same quality for free. Here's what that taught me. When your price is low or free, you have to work 10 times harder to earn trust. You have to over-explain, over-prove, over-deliver just to get people to believe you're legit. But when your price matches the value, and it has to be just, the trust is built into the transaction. People assume quality. They show up ready to engage. They don't need convincing. Now again, with Reformadas, free was a strategic choice. I chose generosity because I could afford to and because it served the mission. But here's what most hermanas miss. I did not give it away for free because I did not know how to charge. I gave it away for free because I did know how to charge. And I have charged in other platforms, but I chose not to. That's a massive difference between strategic generosity and guilt-based underpricing. One is a business decision. The other one is often trauma response. Now, the other thing that happens when you underprice your work is that you can't sustain that work. Let me give you real math. Say you are coaching and you charge $50 per session. To make $4,000 a month, you would need to get 80 sessions. That's 20 sessions per week. That's 4 sessions every single day, 5 days a week, with 0 time for marketing and content creation and admin or rest. Now imagine you charge $200 per session. You have the same goal, $4,000 per month. You will only need 20 sessions per month. That's 5 sessions per week, 1 per day. And now you have time to serve those clients excellently. Time to do marketing, time to rest, time to be present for your family and for your calling. It's the same income, it's a completely different lifestyle. Now, with underpricing, you're also limiting your capacity to give. And this one gets me the most. The hermanas who tell me they want to be generous, they want to tithe more, they want to sponsor a child and fund mission work, they want to help their parents, they really want to give, but they can't. Because they're charging $17 for something that should be $170. And they're so exhausted from overworking to make ends meet that they have nothing left to give. See, undercharging does not fund generosity, it actually kills it. Lastly, you are training the market to undervalue your industry. When you underprice, you don't just hurt yourself, you hurt every other woman trying to make a living doing what you do. You train clients to expect expertise for pennies. You make it harder for the next Latina entrepreneur to charge what she's worth. Here's what I want you to hear clearly. Charging appropriately is not only about you, it's about stewardship. You're stewarding your energy so you can serve with excellence. You're stewarding your time so you can be present for your family and loved ones. You're stewarding your income so you can actually fund the calling God has placed on your life. You're stewarding your industry so the next generation of entrepreneurs can thrive. Undercharging is not holy. It is actually harmful. And the first step to fixing this is understanding that pricing isn't about what you feel comfortable asking for. It is about what the transformation is worth. We're going to get practical. I'm going to teach you the 4 pillars of what I call the Pricing with Peace framework. This is a system I use with every Latinpreneur I coach. It's the reason that I can send invoices without that knot in my stomach, and it's going to change everything for you. Now, I'm just going to give you the overview today because the full implementation, the calculator, the scripts, the case studies, that's what I teach in depth. But this framework alone will shift how you think about every price you set from this moment forward. Pillar number 1, cost of transformation. This is where most people start, and they start wrong. They ask, what do I think I'm worth, or what are other people charging? Those are the wrong questions. The right question is, what is this transformation worth to them? What is the worth to them who receive it? So let me give you an example. Say you are a resume writer. You spend 2 hours writing someone's resume. If you priced based on your time, maybe you charge, I don't know, $100, 2 hours, $50 per hour. So according to my research, this is fair cost in the USA. But let's look at that transformation. This resume helps them land a job that pays $20,000 more per year than their current job. Over 5 years, that's $100,000 in additional income. See, your resume didn't give them 2 hours of your time. It gave them a 6-figure income increase. What is it worth? I'm guessing it's a lot more than 100. So that's what I mean by cost of transformation. You cannot just be pricing your time. You need to price the outcome, the result, that change in their life because of your expertise. So here's a question to ask yourself. If my client gets the full result I am promising, what will that be worth to them in money and time and peace and opportunity and relationships? And write that number down because that will be your starting point. Now, pillar number 2, the cost of your time. You also need to factor in what it costs you to deliver this transformation. And I don't just mean the hours you spend with a client. I mean everything. The years you spend learning this skill, the certification, the failures, the experience, the emotional labor, the opportunity cost, what you're not doing when you're serving this client. Here's a number that most entrepreneurs never calculate. What does it cost you to acquire this client? If you spend 10 hours a week on marketing to get one of those clients, those 10 hours are part of your cost. If you spend $500 on ads to fill your roster, that's part of your cost. Most hermanas price like the only cost is the hour they spend delivering the service. That's why they're broke. You literally need a price that covers the cost of delivery plus the cost of acquisition plus a margin that makes this work sustainable. So pillar number 3, the generosity margin. This is the pillar that transforms pricing from a business decision into a kingdom strategy. Here's what I do. I build a generosity margin into every offer. This means that my price includes room to tithe, to donate, to offer scholarships, to serve people who genuinely cannot afford my rates. Or think of it this way. If you need $3,000 to live and you want to tithe 10% and give another 10% to causes you care about, you need to make $3,750. That's $750 is your generosity margin. When you build giving into your pricing from the start, you stop feeling guilty about your rates because you're not just funding yourself, You're funding the scholarship you want to offer, the ministry you want to support, the family member you want to help, the mission trip you want to take. Your price is not selfish. It is literally strategic generosity. Pillar number 4, the comparison trap. This is a pillar that I need to warn you about. I know what you're going to do the moment this episode ends. You're going to Google what other people charge for what you do. You're going to look at your competitor's sales page. You're going to find the person, how much the person is charging, and use that as your baseline. Please don't. Here's why competitor pricing is dangerous. You have no idea if they're profitable. Most entrepreneurs are undercharging and drowning. Of course, you don't see that on their Instagram. Of course, you don't know about their credit card debts. Reality is you may be copying a broken model. You have no idea what their costs are. Maybe they live in a place where they have lower expenses. Maybe their spouse is covering their bills. Maybe they're subsidizing their business with a day job. Their situation is not your situation. Now, you have no idea what their transformation is. Maybe they're offering something different than what you're offering. So comparing prices without comparing transformation will be meaningless. Literally, the comparison trap leads to one place, a race to the bottom where everybody loses. Your price should be based on your transformation, your cost, your generosity goals, not somebody else's Instagram caption. Now, I've given you the 4 pillars, but here's what I want you to notice. I have not given you that calculator. I haven't given you a formula. I haven't shown you how to combine these 3 pillars in an actual number. Why? Because pricing is not a one-size-fits-all equation. Your business is different than mine. Your transformation is different. Your costs are different. Your generosity goals are different. So what I can give you today is the foundation, the framework, the way of thinking that will transform how you approach every pricing question. And what I can give you right now is that first step, uncovering the beliefs that are blocking you from using this framework in the first place. So I created an exercise specifically for this episode, and I need you to download it right now. Go to latinpreneurs.com and subscribe to the vault, because when you do, you'll get immediate access to the pricing leak finder. And this exercise is a series of questions designed to surface the hidden money beliefs that you are running in your pricing decisions. All those scripts that you inherited, the phrases that play in your head when you send an invoice, the guilt patterns that make you discount yourself before anybody even asks. You cannot fix what you cannot see, and most of us have never looked directly at the money stories we're carrying, particularly if we're Hispanic or in the Christian ministry world. So the pricing leak finder will make them visible. You will uncover specific phrases, situations, patterns, and you'll write a new money script, one that aligns with who you are right now and not who your abuela needed you to be. Here's what I know. You have been undercharging, and maybe it's not because you don't believe in your work. Maybe it's not because you lack a confidence, but it's because you never had a system. You never had a framework. You are guessing, and guessing always leads to guilt. The pricing leak finder will be your first step towards pricing with peace instead of panic. And if you do this exercise and realize you need more than a mirror, you need a complete pricing overhaul, I want you to know that help exists. But for now, start here. Start with a pricing leak finder and start seeing it clearly. Again, go to latinpreneurs.com and subscribe or log into the vault to download it today. Before we close, let me tell you what I believe about you. I believe you have a gift that deserves to be compensated. I believe your transformation has value that you've been underestimating. And I believe that when you price with strategy instead of guilt, everything changes. Your energy, your client quality, your capacity to give, your freedom to follow where God leads. Pricing is not about greed. Pricing is about sustainability, strategy, generosity in ways that don't burn you out. The hermana whose prices well is not being selfish. She's being smart. She's serving her clients better. She's building something that lasts. She's funding a calling that matters. That can be you. Head to latinpreneurs.com right now, subscribe to the vault, Download the Pricing Leak Finder and let's start dismantling the guilt that's been holding you back. Because you were meant to build freedom. Freedom to work anywhere. Freedom to serve boldly. Freedom to say yes when God calls because your income finally funds your obedience. This is Freedom to Follow by Latinpreneurs, where businesses meet calling. I'll see you next week. Until then, keep building, hermana. Keep rising with peace. Keep walking in freedom. The revolution starts with you.